In Paraguay, they have a lot of colectivos, they're called, the buses. They're like the size of a school bus. And in most areas, you'll take them everywhere you go. Not necessarily every day, but to get from one area of town to the other, or get to get to church or to go shopping or something, you'll have to take a colectivo. And a lot of missionaries, especially in the beginning, want to just get on and think, okay, this is my break. I can relax. I can just sit here. But don't waste a minute on the colectivos sitting there, because that is the prime time to contact people. Because they're stuck. They can't go anywhere. They have to listen to you. And they love it when some American or some missionary comes and sits next to you and talks to them. Most of them just are so happy to talk to a foreigner or to talk to just really anybody. They love to talk. They love to talk. Paraguayans are so happy to talk to you. And so I just ask everyone listening to this to please always talk to at least one person on every colectivo ride. Probably 3 or 4 or 5, depending on how long it is. But some of my best experiences were on colectivos. Just sitting next to someone, or sometimes it's so packed you're just standing there and you're squished between people, but you can still talk, you know? There's never really an excuse to not be sharing the gospel. And that is a great time. One time, I got into a colectivo and I just smiled at this woman and talked to someone else, and then later, as people got on and off, I went back to that lady who I had first seen, and her name was Susan, and I asked her where she lived, and she explained where she lived, and I thought mentally, oh, that's not in my area, so, you know, I'll just give her a pamphlet, and that's it. And apparently she had thought that I had said that we would go visit her. I don't remember ever saying that. Maybe I had said I'd send some missionaries to her house or something. But a few weeks later, we were walking on a road and a car stopped, and this woman stuck her head out the window and she said, "Hermanas, sisters, you still haven't visited me." And I was thinking, who is that? Because I talked to everybody. I couldn't remember who she was. And she was like, "I talked to you on a bus and you haven't visited me yet." And I was like, "Oh, where do you live? Like, I'm so sorry." And they had just barely moved into our area, so we could visit them. And so we went and found her one afternoon, and we had a wonderful first lesson. She was the only one home, but she said, "Please come back when my husband's home so that he can hear this too." And we went back, and Carlos, her husband, was there, and he was very doubtful, but he still wanted to listen. And he had so many doubts. He said, "Why do you Mormons go to church all suited up, all dressed up so fancy? Like, God doesn't require that kind of thing," and all these doubts. But he still agreed to do his part and read the Book of Mormon and pray and stuff. And they were so prepared. This family was just so prepared. They had been going to a different Christian church for a while, but had felt that it really wasn't doing any good to their family. And so they were looking. And we went back and back and back, and that was the first complete family that I had get baptized in my mission, the mom and dad and their 3 daughters. And I will always love the Estigarribia family, because it was just so evident that they were prepared. We didn't do much. All I had to do was open my mouth on a colectivo. That was the start of it. And I just shudder to think, if I hadn't talked to her on the bus, how would they have found the gospel? And I'm sure they would have eventually, but it has been the greatest joy of my life to be part of their conversion, just to see how converted they are. They both have good callings now in the church. They're so active. Their 3 daughters want to go on missions. I talk to them on Facebook very regularly. I've Skyped with them twice since being home. And I'm doing all I can to be able to go to their temple sealing this August, which will be a year from when they got baptized. And so, talk to everyone. You never know when God is placing someone who is so prepared right in your path. Someone whose family is searching for the true church. There's a lot of them. In Paraguay, it's just chock full.